Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Chrissy. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you guys on how to go about the cutting of this beautiful stylish A-line dress. If it's the first time coming across my video, thank you so much for stopping by. Please hit on the subscribe button and let's get started.
Two souls colliding. We shared the pieces of ourselves. It's perfect.
So guys, to start our this tutorial, you will need to fold your pattern paper into two, just like I did here. So the next thing is to draw a straight line. It will serve as your starting line, okay, or your shoulder line. After that, you're going to place your tape, then come down by your waistline. My waistline is 15 inch. I marked and I also came down by 23 inch. This will serve as my hip line, okay? I'll repeat the same thing here. After marking, I'll use my ruler to connect those points in a straight line. All right, just like this. So once I'm through with that, I'm going to come down and I'll determine the length I would want for my gown. So the length I want is 35 inch. I added extra 1 inch to make it 36. After marking, I'll connect a straight line like this, okay? So once I'm through with that, I'll go ahead and label. After labeling, I'm also going to place my tape again. Then I'll come down by my chest line. My chest line is 7.5 inch. I went ahead to mark and I connected it in a straight line. I labeled as chest line and I labeled as shoulder line as well. Can you see? At the down part, I mistakenly wrote TL, so I corrected myself by writing GL, which means the gown length. Okay, so what I have here is the chest line 7.5, waistline 15 inch, hip is 23 inch, while the gown length is 36 inch, including the allowance like I said earlier. Okay, so on the shoulder line, you are going to divide your shoulder circumference by 2 plus half an inch stitching allowance. Go ahead and mark. Repeat the same thing on your chest line. Connect the 2 points like this. Come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope and also mark 3.5 inch for your neck width. Okay, so for the neck depth of the front piece, I'm going to come down by 2.5 inch. I'll connect those points to give me a round neckline. So once I'm through with that, I'm also going to connect from the shoulder slope to the neck width. Next, I'll measure what I have from that point to the chest line. I'll divide it, then mark the midpoint. From that midpoint, I'll come inside by half an inch. On the chest line, I'm also going to mark quarter of the bust circumference. I'll go ahead and connect these three dots to give me my armhole curve, just like this, okay? So once I'm through with this, next thing I want to do again is to take the measurement. Okay, so on the chest line, I already had quarter of my bust circumference. I already marked it. So what I'm going to do now is to add extra 1.5 inch for my seam allowance. After marking on the waistline, I'm going to mark quarter of my waist circumference and I will add 1.5 inch for my seam allowance. I will connect the 2 points with my stretch ruler, just like this. Next, I'll come down on the hip line, then I will mark quarter of my hip circumference. I'll mark it, make my point there. Then I'm going to add extra 2.5 inch. Okay. And after marking, I'll also add 1.5 inch again for the seam allowance. The hip area is not supposed to be hugged, okay, because of the style we're working with. So to make sure you get the style very well, like you can see in the picture inspiration, you will need to give an extra inch on the hip line. After marking quarter of your hip circumference, add 2.5 inch. If you're on a bigger size, you can add 3 inch. Okay, after that, you can now add your extra inch for seam allowance like I just did there. Okay, so on that gown length, you can see I've cut out the excess. Then I want to add this excess on the side. Okay, my pattern paper is not too wide, so that's why I'm adding this excess on the side because of the style we're actually working with. So on the down part of this gown, if you watch closely, you would notice the down part looks like an A-line dress. Okay, like we have the shape of an A-line dress at the down part. So that's why I added an extra piece of paper just to achieve this particular dress. Okay, once I'm done taping, the next thing I did was to take the total measurement I have on the hip line. It was 13 inch. I marked the same 13 inch on the down part, so I had to connect from there to the hip line. Okay, just connect it straight like this. Okay, make sure you blend the hip area just like this. Okay, so go ahead and do yours like this. After that, Next thing you need to do again is to take an extra inch on this side. You're going to take an extra inch on this particular side. Okay, so you're going to add 2.5 inch if you're on a smaller size. If you're on a bigger size, 3 inch, 4 inch, 4.5 inch is okay. It depends on how free you want that side to be. So after marking my 2.5 inch, I will connect from the hip line to that point, just like this. Okay, and after that, on the side, I am going to place my tape at the side. Then I'll come up by 1.5 inch. After making my point, I'll use my curve rule to connect like so. Can you see? So after connecting, I will go ahead now to cut it out. Okay, so guys, this is how you go about achieving this beautiful stylish gown. So I'll just use my marker to make those areas I'm going to be cutting out very visible for everyone to see. After that, you cut it out. Okay, so for this dress, it's not must you use pattern for it. You can actually use your free hand to cut it out. Like, you can cut directly on the fabric if you want. Okay, so now I want to cut out the back piece. Now the back is very simple. First, I will have to pin together with the front pattern. Okay, and before pinning, ensure you leave about 1.5 inch for your zip allowance. Okay, after pinning, guys, this was what I had. I added 1.5 inch for zip allowance. Next, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch for the back depth. Okay, then I'll use my curve ruler to connect it in a round neckline to give me a round neckline actually. So after connecting, guys, next thing I want to do is to remove the zipper bulge. So I extended the waistline area into the back pattern. Okay, and I also came inside by 1/2 inch. Okay, so now I placed my ruler like this. Then I'm going to connect from there to that point. You can see what I did here. Then repeat the same thing on this other side. Okay, so by doing so, you already removed your zipper board. Like, you're not going to have any bodiness at the back side. Okay, so go ahead and cut it out just like you see me doing here. Okay, so after cutting, guys, this is basically all for the drafting of the front and back piece of this beautiful dress. There is no sewing tutorial for this particular video. Okay, you can transfer to your actual fabric and make your beautiful dress. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Two souls colliding. We shared the pieces of ourselves. It's perfect.